Okay, so today I had my follow-up appointment with my breast consultant and also with the breast care nurse as well, who's always in the room to give support. So I haven't seen my consultant since I think it was either end of April or May, when I was actually supposed to be having a lumpectomy first before my chemotherapy. And then everything changed because my tumour was a lot bigger than they thought. So yeah, so obviously chemotherapy, which I'm still having, and my chemotherapy is due to finish on the 23rd of October, which I'm so glad for. It feels like it's been forever. I mean, I have had it weekly, so it has been really, really grueling. And it has affected me massively. So I've been having it weekly. I obviously finished my 12th round last week, and then later today, this afternoon, I start my new drug, which is just basically going to eliminate any leftover cancer, any cancer cells that are left. It's just going to zap it away, and this drug is, like I said before, it is going to be very, very potent, hence why they call it the Red Devil, not only for that reason, but because it is a red liquid, and I am kind of dreading how it's going to make me feel. I've had really mixed reviews as such, from different nurses and whatnot, so yeah, it's definitely a lot to go through. So basically, I finished my chemotherapy on the 23rd of October, and then there is a therapeutic window after you finish your chemo where you have to have surgery. So it's 4 to 6 weeks after my chemotherapy finishes. That's basically, which the consultant said, when you go through chemotherapy, if it's left any later past the 6-week mark, then that's when the chemotherapy drugs start to wear off, which then obviously puts you at risk of cancer starting to, could possibly redevelop, or if there are any cancer cells that are left after the chemotherapy, then they can obviously grow. Because my cancer is highly aggressive, then there is that risk. So they want to get the surgery done when my chemo ends. So 4 to 6 weeks afterwards. So basically, my surgery is going to be scheduled any time between the 20th of November to the 4th of December. And it's crazy. I just can't believe that it's going to literally be around the time. It's going to be the 1-year mark of my mum passing away. And it's literally within that time frame, because she passed away last year on the 28th of November. And the fact I'm going to be having a double mastectomy and a reconstruction within those dates, like, it's crazy. I just can't believe she's already been gone nearly a year, and I've just not been able to grieve as I would have wanted to. but I am keeping as strong as possible, just, you know, because I know that she is with me through this. Yeah, so I'll be having double mastectomy. So he said both breasts removed, and the possibility of me being able to use my tummy fat tissue, sorry, not fat, my tummy tissue to be able to basically make new breasts. And he was saying about preserving the nipples. If I want to or not, that is an option for me to choose, but he said there is a risk that if you do keep them, there is a risk of the cancer, you know, being in that duct, which my cancer is invasive ductal carcinoma, so mine is actually in the milk duct. So I don't really know. I mean, if there is a risk of cancer redeveloping just by keeping them, then I won't want to keep them. I want to reduce my risk as much as possible. So, you know, it's a lot for me to consider, and I don't really know how I'm going to feel at the time when it comes to it, but it needs to be done. So fingers crossed they can use my tummy tissue. He said you've only had one cesarean, so you might be in luck to be able to use your tummy. And I was just thinking, oh my God, please. I don't really want to use, you know, the back of my shoulders. I don't want to use my inner thighs. I don't want to use my bum. I don't really want to use my hips. I would rather use my tummy if they can, and at least that scar will be there because it's mostly hidden for most of the year. So yeah, he's referring me to see a plastic surgeon. So I should be seeing him within the next couple of weeks to discuss my options. The other option is to have implants, but it's obviously not lifelong, so I would have to go through another surgery to have them, you know, changed or removed. And I think after having a double mastectomy, I don't want to be put under the knife again for that area. I would rather use what tissue they can use and let them work their magic. I also have to have another metal clip inserted. So I had one that was inserted in my left breast where my cancer is, into the tumour, because normally when they put the marker, the metal clip in, they call it a marker. So after chemotherapy, and obviously with chemotherapy it's shrinking the tumour, when they go to do surgery, they can see where the metal clip is to where the tumour is, to then cut that away. So they're going to be putting one in my lymph node. So one of my lymph nodes in my left armpit has been enlarged ever since the beginning. They did do biopsies with that, but because it's remained enlarged, they're going to put a metal clip into that one, which will be done soon. And then they will be removing that lymph node when they do the breast surgery. That's more or less it from today. They are also booking me in for a final scan when my chemotherapy finishes. And then really it will be in the hands of the surgeons come November. And also as well. He was talking about other things as well, because basically, because I do have the BRCA gene mutation, it's a very harmful mutation. So if you have that gene, then they really do recommend you having a risk reducing surgery, because that is going to reduce your risk significantly, you know, anything from 90 to 95%, which is incredible. And I do not want to go through breast cancer again. So that is why I am willing to have my breasts removed. You know, I am young. I know a lot. I know that there are children that have cancer, and I can't even imagine what they have to endure and their parents have to go through. I really can't. I mean, I'm 37 now, and you know, I have got a baby and I want to be here as long as possible. That's what I said to him today. I said I will do anything it takes in order for me to be here to watch my baby grow up. That is, honestly, I'm not going to be, I don't want to say selfish, but in a way, I don't want to be selfish in any form, and you know, to keep my breasts just because I want to, because I, you know, like, no, just do what you need to do. It's just because of my risk of the cancer reoccurring, and also because I mean the cancer I have is actually so high grade, it's so aggressive. So it's incredible, really, just what the chemotherapy has done already. It was originally 65 millimeters, the entire mass. The tumour measured at around 4.3, I think, something like that. But now, I had an ultrasound done a week or so ago. The tumour now is measuring I think it's 25 or 26 millimeters, and the entire mass is about 43 millimeters. So it has shrunk significantly, and that's all thanks to the chemotherapy that I've had. So it worked, you know, it's your, even though it makes you feel like shit, that's your weapon, and it can help so much. So I want to do everything I can in order to really try and prevent myself from getting cancer again. So I will be having the mastectomy, the double mastectomy. Because do you know what, I didn't even know. I knew that my cancer was high grade. I never really kind of questioned too much. I didn't really want to, you know, think the worst of things. Like, you know, I've tried to remain as positive as possible and just go with the medical team and go with their treatment plan and everything. And it has worked so well so far. But from what I've read from my clinical letter today, which is for the referrals for everything that I am waiting for now. So all I was told was that my cancer was grade 3, which is high grade. And now I know that it is stage 3 breast cancer, and I didn't know that. But now I do. It doesn't change anything in my mind, but in a way I'm thinking, bloody hell, like I'm fighting this. I am fighting stage 3, and you know, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that it's all gone. Yeah, so that's it really. And then I start my new chemotherapy later today as well. Not really sure how I'm gonna be. I am kind of dreading it, but I'm gonna, yeah, just see how I am. But yeah, it's crazy. Cancer is, wow, but you can fight it. You really, really can. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'll do an update after my Red Devil drug. Wish me luck.